Hello. Hi.
Hello, everyone.
How are you guys today? This is Around the Block, Season 2, Episode 4. I am Renge, joined as always by Wars. How you
That's
doing?
that's me. I'm good. Uh, hope
Yeah?
everyone's having a good day. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, me too. Definitely some homework need to bang out later, but
yeah,
that's all right. Always gotta make time for Around the Block.
always. Okay.
Uh,
Um,
but yeah.
the main thing uh, the main thing we have to talk about today, recent events. We got MCDT Anniversary 2. I don't know which MC. There's like a MCDT has like been a tournament series for a while, but like this is the second one
Mhm.
that they ran on. I guess I can say we ran on the anniversary. Uh,
Like MCDT was a series before it was MCDT Anniversary.
yeah. I mean, like
Really?
it was just like a random. Yeah, Ben just ran random doubles tournaments,
Oh,
but
I didn't
like,
know
yeah. So the first one I helped run, or like I streamed it. Um, and yeah,
the second one, Edge ran. Edge ran the stream
Edge
for
ran the
it.
stream on PK. Yeah,
Actually, Edge did a great job with the stream.
yeah,
Looked really
it
good.
looked very good. I
Mhm.
kind of just like hodgepodged
I
my stream
yeah,
the first time.
yeah happens to the best of us.
I don't know. Uh,
Uh, but
but
yeah,
yeah,
we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about uh other teams formats that we've really tried in the Tetris community and what has worked and what hasn't worked about like the whole lot of them. So yeah,
yeah.
that's sort of on the docket. Uh,
But first, yeah. I mean,
mhm.
people just people. Why do people even care about doubles? You know, like
Why do people care? I mean, if you look at the who won, the just like the one that happened, was it yesterday? It was yesterday, right?
y-
Yeah.
yeah,
There's like Blar Gritteru first, CZ Vince second. And it's
yes.
like, well, kind of to be expected, right?
Hmm.
Some order of those two teams would be first and second because they're like global 1 through 4. Like global 1 through 5 and like Dia was somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
Uh but yeah. I think people like playing with other people, I think. Like on a team. Not just against people, but also having like that sense of like community or like team.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
yeah.
Kind of makes a lot of the getting in your own head fade away when you have like other people
Hmm.
or other people you're playing for, other people to cheer you on.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think playing with someone is usually really good for it, but then sometimes, you both get in your heads and then it's like the problem
yeah.
compounds. But I would say most of the time, playing with someone is a really, really fun time that I think modern Tetris in general tends to overlook a little.
Well, I mean, yeah, just as inherently as a 1v1 game,
Hmm.
it's just difficult to do. Um,
Yeah.
there's a lot of like 1v1 games that like try their best to become doubles games or like team games,
Or to
and
do team
yeah,
formats.
it works to varying degrees.
Hmm.
I think, well, we can talk about we'll talk about that later. Uh, but yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah, I have probably one of the most like positive. I think I've had one of the most positive experiences out of doubles tournaments in general from Tetris because yeah, MCDT, the first one was around this time last year, I think.
I
And
mean, it's
that's
the anniversary.
the
Yeah,
first anniversary MCDT.
yeah,
MCDT anniversary
yeah.
1
That's
as it's now
crazy that
called.
it would be around this time, also.
Yeah. That was the sort of how Jed and I became friends. Jed, uh huge pal of the show. That's my dog.
Yes.
I love that guy. And that we teamed for the first MCDT anniversary, and then I don't know, we just kind of we placed really well. We got like 17th, and then we teamed again at the second one, and we got like 65th, like a bunch of losers. Who mega wall? uh,
Yeah,
but like in the first one between sets, we just like played melee. We just like talked and like chilled out, and I think that was one of the biggest reasons for me wanting to continue investing in the community. And I think that sort of positive experience, I've talked about this on the podcast at least once or twice.
yeah,
Jed is a huge influence to me, uh, because of MCDT and because uh, like us being as skill gapped as we were and as we are now. I don't know. It feels nice to have the encouragement on the like on the comms of Jed being like, yeah, you go girly pop.
does he say that?
No.
Uh, uh,
But if he did though, that'd be great if
maybe
he
would have
did.
gotten 64th. I don't know.
Maybe we would have gone 64th. That's okay. But yeah. Uh I'm sort of like probably an edge case in terms of general experience with doubles tournaments, especially with MCDT anniversaries or MCDTs. But
Yeah,
that's the sort of thing that I hope to bring with doubles tournaments in general. Is just like that extra sense of camaraderie,
yeah.
team spirit. I love team spirit.
I know it's just something generally around, like, with the people that we have like hung around.
Hmm.
I think the biggest like most recent one aside from like you and Jed was like bringing picks into the gang, kind
Into
of.
like image jump and stuff.
Yeah, so I mean this is more
Yeah.
like just us talking about people that we
Hmm.
know as opposed to, but um, during
There's a
the
lot of,
yeah
yeah, a lot of people getting into the community or becoming more invested in the community is just all it takes is someone person or one event with someone like taking them under their wing or like, like
yeah yeah.
giving them that really good positive experience.
It also doesn't work for everyone. I think it's people that are like will like they have to be receptive to it also,
Hmm.
obviously.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but as long as you give more opportunities for stuff like that, I think it can never be bad. Never be bad. It only makes it
Hmm.
easier. It's all you can do.
But yeah,
Um,
not to say that teams formats don't have like their huge problems. Uh, those of you who watched MCDT, uh, I mean, like the stream ran really well. Like Edge did a great job, but
yes. Yeah.
Jstris double's not exactly the most appealing thing to the eyes.
Yeah. So just about Jstris doubles, it's like I mean the way it's coded is it doesn't like give you the nice piece movement like it does
Hmm.
in singles. Um, I think that's the main thing that makes it unreadable. But just in general, I mean, it's very chaotic because you have to keep track of four boards. It's already hard enough to watch Tetris as is. So
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
especially at the top, like the very top level, like uh, probably most of the stream matches in the PK stream. It's just hard to like keep track of four players each playing at like 3.5 to like 4.5 PPS.
Yeah,
And it's just like I don't know. I couldn't really watch like all of the stream because I just like gave myself a headache
yeah. Calming it
trying
is
to
hard.
follow
Is even
everything.
harder too. I don't know.
Hmm.
Like there's also
Yeah.
like such a lack of strategy. It's just kind of like send good and like don't die because like a lot of spike gameplay gets sort of nullified and it's
Hmm.
just about consistency because the garbage is split between both players. Not
Yeah.
not like split, but like on average,
Like
like
the
you won't be able
garbage
to.
goes
Yeah.
to it goes to whoever has the fewest amount of lines in queue.
Ah, really?
Did you know that?
I did not know the exact
I read through the
details.
rules for it
I
because I
thought it
was
was
curious.
like I thought it was like least amount of like it's like lowest board. I thought that was the how it usually works. I don't know.
It's like most the least amount of pending garbage gets the lines.
I see.
Something like that.
So it's impossible to
Uh
like tank for your opponent.
Yeah, I think that's the case.
Okay.
I also might be wrong. I'm also
Regardless,
often wrong.
the end result is just that the garbage, like you can't really spike someone in this game. You
Hmm.
you can only like outnumber them, right? Or like outstat them, right?
Outstat them and like out consistent APM
Yeah.
pressure
Yeah.
them. And it just kind of makes for like a it's hard to follow, it's hard to commentate.
But it's just got those
Uh
vibes of like something really
mhm.
intense is happening because like you can only win after like playing crazy for like 10 minutes. I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I mean it makes sense who won as well because like it's Blarg uh and Ritter
And Ritteru.
are kind of like the
Yeah, I
two
mean,
like best clean spammers in the game right now.
mhm.
Um
Just
so yeah.
huge APM trains is like, well, yeah, that makes sense. Checks out that they would win. Uh
Yes.
Not to say that like Vince and CZ like
Yes.
did any bad of a job, you know.
Kind of funny. I
Um
think this is because last time it was Rivi and Saint. I forget how to say his name. He stopped playing recently, or not recently, but
Rizuka?
Seghir.
Senghyun?
Yeah, it was Team Korea versus like Team Speed, which was like Micro Blizz and Vince last year. That's a funny name. Um,
Team Speed. I like that.
I don't know
But
about
yeah,
the names this time.
the names, I feel like the one thing that teams formats definitely bring is like it's just kind of fun to have like a funny team name with
Yeah.
someone that you like thought up together.
You wanna bring up some of these team names and just riff on them
You
a
want to
little bit?
we can make fun
Yeah,
of
yeah,
these
yeah,
team names a
yeah.
little bit.
Or
I
not
think I think
team
Jed and
name, but
I
like
have had two really good ones,
yeah. Wait, let
but
me try to bring it up.
one of them's definitely like a if you know you know kind of bit.
Okay. Uh,
Yeah.
how are we on audio right
Um
now?
there was a there were some couple good names.
All
Jed
right.
and I last year we were the Modest Tomato Fan Club because, you know, Modest Tomato Fan Club. And then we ended up outplacing Modest and his teammate.
All right.
Pretty
Let's.
great.
We brought it up here. Severely burnt pie. This was Cabin
Severely
and
Burnt Pie is a
Firestorm.
good one. Caboozled
Yeah, that
Firestorm.
seemed like very like FS kind of name. The that
Mm-hmm.
fits them. I think that's cute. Um, there's yeah, there's Femboy
Mayas
team
and
between Mayas
Bolo,
and
Femboy
Bolo.
team.
Yeah, that's like a Tetris subculture that we haven't ever touched upon, and I don't know how to, so I probably won't.
Hostile
Oh,
Takeover.
Team Taz with
Team
her
Taz is a good
Azura and
one.
Choco Sprinkles. That's cute.
Hostile Takeover. Let's, you want to guess who's Team Hostile Takeover? It's T4AM bots
And
and
Alcazar.
Alcazar, two
Let's go.
Tetrio moderators playing in the Jstris tournament.
Yeah. Oh, am I cool yet? Between I don't know how. There's a bunch of numbers in the wax mango. Is this the person that uploaded this video? One of them?
I think so.
That's cool.
I think so. That's the team that killed me, actually. That's the team that messed us up. There's
Uh,
also like you can upload like images. There are some fun
yeah.
images that got uploaded.
You gotta see
It's
it
one of
on
Jed's
YouTube.
Halloween costume.
Oh, between
Garden
Simp
Sale,
Shrimp
Sim
and
Tramp.
Garden Sale. It's
Hmm.
an
I don't know. I feel like there's just a lot of opportunity for like expression
Among
that isn't
Us.
super available.
Oh my god.
UC3 Refugees. That's another banger. Kion Breladas. I don't know. Just it's nice. It's nice to see like that extra little bit of uh like humor.
Yeah. I thought Dio in Cars was kind of funny. It was Kez and Diao.
Yeah,
Uh, well,
some great ones.
seems good. Oh,
Yeah.
you, you
Is
lost?
that
That's the
wait,
That was like 2 days ago, the Wordle word or
that was the
something.
Wordle
I don't know. That's like
word?
that one takes a little bit little yeah. That's one. That one's actually kind of funny. But yeah, I mean that was not on the itinerary, but I just thought that was a funny tangent, I guess.
Hmm. And I think that's like one thing that tournaments kind of don't super have, is like, I mean, PK tournaments have made great strides towards it, like having player fun facts and stuff like that that give a little bit more personality. But being able to upload your own team image that's like a representation of you and your teammate, I think that's great.
Yeah, and I mean like as much as we talk about like enemy profile pictureisms, like how much more expressive is like seeing someone's face than like them expressing their personality with something like a funny meme. I don't know.
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, I guess it'd be nice to have both, but
it is what it
it is
is.
what it is. I guess seeing reactions is still like people see. Like, I
Hmm.
mean, facial expressions are really, really important. Is it, I don't know. It's like some percentage. I think someone said like 90% of like of communication is nonverbal or something. It's just I don't know. That's
It's
a
true.
random stat. Okay.
Yeah,
Um.
nonverbal communication.
Yeah.
That's I love it. I love it. But
All
yeah,
right.
as you were saying, like just just doubles tournaments, they don't look so good. They don't look so hot.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a few like things to say about it, I guess, about why specifically Jstris doubles isn't that good. But I think the main thing is just that it's hard to make one like an inherently 1v1 game into a doubles or like a team format.
Hmm.
And there aren't a lot of the only like clients that we have right now that support doubles by themselves are PPT and Jstris. And PPT, and it's clear that like not a lot of thought was put forward for these modes competitively because of one, Jstris is, I mean, I guess not a lot of in general is just put towards Jstris competitively, um,
Hmm.
or like for a competitive event kind of vibe. And for PPT, it's like you only the queue is in a really dumb place, and just like I don't know.
The queue is really weirdly placed. There's only three piece previews, right? Which doesn't mean it's something, but
Yeah,
is just different. It's weird to work with three piece previews if you're used to having five or six.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I definitely agree with you that they feel a little bit like laundry list kind of development where not a lot of care went into it.
yeah. But yeah, okay. So now I guess we can talk about how some ways that TOs have tried to get around it,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah. The
and like
most,
make their own quote unquote team formats.
yeah. And I mean, none of this stuff is like it's a lot of it is just logistical nightmare.
Yeah,
But and we would know. We've like I
yeah,
think you and I have run or helped run like a majority of these.
yes. Well, why don't you go
The
first
most
with the most recent
yeah,
one?
most recent one that happened in the past is OU, like over under, which was sort of a relay format with one player ranked higher than the other, and is like like the two lower level players play and then the two higher levels players play. And I think it's sort of like a crew battle. It's sort of like a relay race. I like to think about it like a relay
Yeah,
race, I
yeah.
think.
It's pretty common among a few sports. I mean,
Mhm.
I guess for those of you who don't know what a crew battle is, it's like when it's like you, two players play, two players on a team play first. As soon as one player loses, um, the person who loses like leaves, and the person who won from the other team will stay, and then kind of the next person in line for that team will go play.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean it's OU was sort of like that,
Sort of
but
like that. Sort of like a I don't know how to describe it. It was like a weird mix of that and a relay race. But I mean,
yeah,
uh as much fun as it was for all the players, and I think it was received really well, but the back end of it is
a
bad.
nightmare. Yeah,
Like it's bad. You have to top yourself out. however many times. Especially like on stream, it's just like really annoying to try to like do that without losing the atmosphere or the feel
Yeah.
of the tournament match. And then also it's just like slow. Like it ran really, really slow, both because of that topping out stuff and the fact that it was like every match is 2 full length sets.
Yeah. I think
Uh,
it potentially could have run well on like Jstris. So you could have done like the teams mode with like just one player playing at a time or something like that. And then
mhm.
like the score would persist and like you have people join in afterwards or something dumb like that.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Something like that could have worked. I really wanted it to be on Tetrio. I think
Yeah.
I've mentioned this. Again, lots of stuff teams wise, because we had like a whole episode on OU.
Yeah.
Uh, um, it's just like I wanted the shock value, you know? First Tetrio teams event,
Yes,
not
yes.
actually a teams event. Uh, but yeah, like it was good. It ran
Okay.
relatively, honestly, pretty smoothly, but it
Slow and
still took a
steady,
while just because
you know.
it's not like an inherently supported format, and because of that, a lot of the back end stuff is really, really like mechanical, like kill yourself 5 times and then you can play.
Yes.
Kill yourself 5 times and then wait for the other person to kill themselves 4 times,
Yeah.
and
Did
then
did
we're
anyone
cooking.
ever like mess up the killing themselves and you had to restart?
No, thankfully not.
That's kind of crazy. I definitely thought that would have happened at least once.
I don't think so. At least not on stream. On stream, it didn't happen, and I'm pretty sure that's the case. Because if it did happen, I would never have heard the end of it.
That would have been funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the relay kind of crew battle style, where it's just like a bunch of 1v1s in a line where people are working or like playing against in teams. I think that's probably the most viable way to turn a single player event into a team event. There was also Gang Wars, which was another MMC event that Modest ran, or it was Modest's event, but he ran it with MMC.
Mhm.
But it was also run in the more typical league format, where it's like you play a match every week or so, and for that, I think it made the momentum of it very, very bad, or like it lost a lot of steam as people went on. But the people that played in it, I think, said it was pretty fun. It was just like logistically again a nightmare and
Mhm.
hard to run, and like it's just hard to get that many people together every week and
Yeah,
to
for
play. It's
sure.
just you lose all the momentum. And I think momentum's a like the entire point of teams is that like it gives you different emotions, play for the team, that kind of thing. But
And then
yeah.
if you don't have like that feeling, then it feels a little bit moot to do a teams event at all.
Yes.
Mhm.
And and I guess like that's sort of the vibe of like the next like style of team tournament that like IFT, the most recent event that's trying to do this style is like IFT Divide, where you have like a team format slapped onto a just like a regular bracket, pretty much.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't. Why did you explain how IFT
This
Divide works? Because you're helping to run it.
I got it. I am helping with IFT divide because I do that.
You get around the block.
I'm around the block. What can I say? Um, it's gonna run mostly like a singles bracket, but as the matches progress, you're playing for like one of two teams, and then at the end, like the scores tally up, and then the team with the bigger teams, like the player whose team has the bigger score gets a little advantage in grands. And I don't know. I think that's neat. I think it. There's also like some supporter raffles that are happening. Like if you're on the winning team, which incentivizes people to like get together and really like try to win for the team, for the squad.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think again, like I'm not gonna say it's logistically a super sound tournament, uh, because you have to They had to like had to have a whole bot like designed and coded to scrape all the scores, and all that stuff to actually like make it work. A lot of other stuff like that. I mean, like conceptually, I like it. I think it runs sort of similarly to like a Splatoon Splatfest, which I think was one of the ideas that we were throwing around
I do
when
not
we were
know
making
what
up the idea.
Splatoon Splatfest is.
You don't? Oh my
No.
god. It's basically just like you're playing your matches with your team against other teams, but for a greater cause.
Yes.
It's for a greater cause is basically what it is.
Yeah.
Um
That's the kind of the vibe of.
mhm.
It's like you're still the same kind of tournament, except you're just slapping teams onto it so that like you can have some sort of artificial um
A little bit of artificial camaraderie.
camaraderie. Yeah. And that's also pretty similar to the league I ran with CTL, the Collegiate Tetris League, that was basically a bunch of Swiss brackets, which made it slightly different from the usual.
Mhm.
Um, to and then like the amount of rounds you won kind of scaled towards the your like team point total or whatever. And in the second iteration, I made it so that it only counted the top 5 players. And that's something, I mean, like, it's not really like, I'm sure there's other things that do this, but my experience and why I decided on that was like, that's how cross country meets are scored. Or like, kind of, I guess, like track kind of thing. It's like,
Really? Oh,
yeah,
that was your reasoning behind it? That's interesting.
well, it wasn't the reasoning behind it, but it was the inspiration. Like, that's my
Mhm.
interaction with that kind of scoring. Um, And yeah, like it worked fine. It's like a way to make an individual sport into a team sport without it like that like incentivizes you to have strong individual teammates, but without completely devaluing like the people that are not within the top 5 because you can just actually I guess it didn't really work that way because in like cross country like basically every person you pass that like might be in the top 5 of another team will decrease their point value. And I guess it's the same way. Like every person you beat that's not, even if you're not the top 5 player in your team, right?
Mhm.
If you beat people lower than you, then like it deprives another team of their points. That kind of thing.
It's like net swing.
Um, yeah.
Mhm.
Uh,
I don't know.
uh,
I think CTL suffered in a similar way to how Gang Wars did, especially in the
yeah.
second
It's just hard
season.
to do with leagues, I think.
Mhm.
I think there's a few things I want to do with CTL that aren't particularly viable right now. So, well, I guess I'll leave that for another time. And
Mhm.
I don't want to commit to anything on paper right now. Or like
Eventually, we'll see like probably a resurgence of
yeah.
CTL as a full-fledged league.
I also keep saying that more people should run Swiss brackets, but no one ever has. You know who said to run Swiss brackets in the first place?
Who did?
Kez de Bez. That's all.
Kez the
And I'm just giving
Bez.
credit where it's due, because it's like a chess thing.
Hmm. That's
Um,
interesting. Um,
Next up,
but yeah,
I guess that's pretty much it for like all the kinds. We have like one versus one versus one versus one. We have doubles, like actual doubles, which have their own problems, and we have throwing a team format onto an existing bracket. But
mhm.
none of these are really teams, if you might notice. Well,
When you
that's
when
not
you
true.
go down when you get down to it, it's the players for the most part, except the actual doubles format, are still playing largely on their own, and because of that, some of them handle it better than others. I think. The making the team aspect matter,
Yes.
but overall, there's still like some parts that need to be worked on and improved for doubles to really take off within Tetris.
Uh, yeah. I don't know. Like it just I think a lot of it is like there's some inherent developer support, but um I guess I'll talk about crew battles in general because I personally think that that's probably the most viable and straightforward way to make teams make sense in the game.
Hmm.
And I think one problem with like crew battle style feeling like just like one versus one as opposed to like actually interacting with the team is the online versus IRL factor. And we keep talking about this over and over again, how IRL is like this sort of big thing that like is good. IRL's so good, isn't that crazy? I don't know. But like my experience, like I play Super Smash Brothers Melee, which is I don't know if crew battles are a thing in other fighting games. I think it's just a Smash thing, right? Or it's only
It's
called
mostly
crew
a Smash
battles
thing.
in Smash or something. I don't
Something
know.
like that.
But
Citation needed.
yeah. But I mean, it was in that Turn Down for Waltz documentary on the M2K crew battle, but
Hmm.
the inspiration was like anime, I think. It's like they did that in like Dragon, but I don't know. I don't care. You guys you guys are I don't know. It's old anime at this point. I'm sorry.
It
Um
is a great anime.
uh
Continue. Continue.
but yeah, so my experience with crew battles is also kind of like a college league. It's like CSL or something, Collegiate Star
Hmm.
League or something. They do a ton of games, but for Smash they just do crew battles. Um, so yeah, I played it with like my the people I played like the Smash Club at my college, and it was a lot of fun. We also even had enough players to like split into two teams, like an A team and a B team. I was on the B team. It was so sad, but um,
It's okay.
yeah, like it was like a lot of it's like a lot of the experience is definitely elevated a ton by like having people like cheer you on and like they're it's a lot about hype as opposed to like actually being better than the other person because like you're always playing games with like stock deficits and like your job to do certain things and like and I guess
Hmm.
Smash is also a game where like you can't like 100% like you can't just like sweep someone if you're just slightly better than them like you can in Tetris, right? Like there's a lot of the time like if I'm like slightly better than you, or not slightly, I guess like an X rank will never can like never lose a game to an SS rank. But like I think the equivalent skill levels, like you take a stock off like I think like a Tetra like a melee a Smash SS player could take like a
Yeah.
stock off a like it's a lot harder to four stock people
Hmm.
in melee. Um, but yeah, sorry, getting a little off topic. Like it was just my this is my big story. Little flex. When I played the Collegiate Star League, we played this really awful team. Uh, and I went. They put me in first, and I got like 17 stocks off this really awful team, and I was being cheered for. It felt good. I felt kind of bad. I think the last few people started to like cry a little bit, but
Oh.
it,
Oh man.
but it was a lot
You
of
just like killed them?
I mean, yeah, they were really bad. Like
Oh my
they were like
god.
I was not doing anything special. I was like way worse than I am now. But like this is like pre-Slippy era, right? Like they barely knew any tech
Mhm.
skill. Like people didn't couldn't even grind the game. They just probably just played against each other. It's like I don't know. We played other games that day too, and like I had some other hype upsets. Or like I just got like even just getting a random stock and getting cheered on for it. It feels like you contributed even if you're like not the best player there. Okay, sorry. Getting to the actual point. I played a like once COVID started, there was a like a collegiate Slippy league.
Mhm.
Like it's like the online league for melee, and same kind of deal. Like it was like people did cheer for each other and stuff. Um, but it's just like sort of different, right? Like when you're
Mhm.
playing, you deafen. and you can't hear anything. And it's just like the online versus IRL difference in general. I feel like it's kind of a meme in Tetris because of how the the Kazu Amamiya thing went, but there is a difference, right? Like being in the presence of a crowd and like momentum, I think matters a lot more. Uh,
Mhm.
it just feels
It also
nicer
just
for people to actually like be there and like shake in your chair or whatever.
yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I've never had like an IRL crew battle or like IRL team experience like that. I'm a little jealous. I want to take 17 stocks off of some off some shitty melee players and get cheered for it.
yeah, it
It
was,
sounds like a great experience.
yeah. I talked with a guy on the A team who also got sent in first, and he was like, "Man, I know, like we've committed war crimes today or something. Like I don't know." It's like,
Or is breaking the Geneva Conventions today.
uh, but yeah, sorry. That almost felt like I went very roundabout to say one point, but
That's all right.
it's fine.
We tell stories here on Around the Block
Yes,
season 2.
yes. Trying not to talk too deep into like meta stuff, I guess.
Mhm.
Regardless, yeah,
I don't know. Where
that's.
else can we really look for doubles format?
I mean,
Tennis? You
like
play
other
tennis?
sports. I wrote this down. Tennis. Well, I don't want to get into this too quickly because this is like my proposal TM. But uh, there's a lot of sports like melee does have like Smash does have a doubles format, right?
Mhm.
But it's also just as chaotic.
I feel like there's more to if we're comparing it to Tetris. There's a lot more like synergy based strategy that goes into like melee doubles as opposed to like Tetris or like Tetria or
Yeah,
just
yeah,
doubles.
yeah. It is also still kind of a mess, but I guess yeah, there still is some strategy. Is there anything else? Um,
I don't know. You're talking about fencing. You want to talk about
Oh,
fencing?
sorry. I mean fencing. There's not like two people on the strip. It's also kind of like crew battle-ish, uh, where it's like
You win around and
it's very similar. It's
they
actually
ruffle the little strip.
no,
They're
no,
like, yeah, fuck them up.
no. Or well, it's very similar to how you ran OU, except with like a lot more people. They're like to 45. It's like
Oh,
and you stop every instance of 5 points. Every 5 points. And like there's a three-way rotation that ends with the top two fencers fencing at the end.
that's
Um,
really cool.
one thing that wasn't like you guys didn't do in OU is because you forced like the quote unquote top fencer or like top player to like register as such, but you can like mix around your order and say who your actual top fencer is. You can change it so that you can get like an early lead.
Hmm.
Same with crew battles, right? That like order
Mhm.
is a some strategic depth that I feel like wasn't explored, and I don't think it could really be explored in Tetris again because of like how quickly skill differences get out of hand. Um,
Yeah,
especially not in any rank capped way. I think if it was just like an uncapped team tournament,
that's
then it could
in
work.
like that's an idea, but
Yeah,
also uncapped uncapped teams tournament relay style first to 20. You have to top out 15 times at the beginning of the
yeah.
third set.
There'd need to be some
I
support for like a handicap. As soon as there's
mhm.
a support for a handicap, I think this style of relay tournament is
The
gonna
floodgates
come.
are gonna open super
Yeah,
hard, and yeah.
definitely other organizations. Wasn't there like a Vietnam
Oh yeah,
VTT?
Vietnam
They made
ran
a
a
just doubles tournament too.
just doubles tournament. It was very similar to MCDT,
Yes.
I believe.
All
I
right.
think I commentated that actually. I don't recall. I'm gonna get flamed later. Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
I
I feel
think
like it was like.
Dev. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, you were up for like a really long time for that, right, or something.
Yeah, I think so. I was like,
You were
no, I woke
commentating
up
it.
for it.
Yeah.
I either woke up for it and then I like died after, or I stayed up for it and I died after. And I don't know which one is more
I
plausible.
forget. I just remember waking up during like grand finals and seeing you commentate, and like I said hi. That's it.
Yeah, that does check out. But
Um,
on the topic of dev support, that kind of brings us to our viewer question for today, our viewer opinion of the day from HTE.
yeah.
Or do you wanna pull
Oh
that
yeah, I
up?
could pull that up. One sec. Give me just one sec.
Uh,
You
let's
want to
see. He
read it
writes,
out while
yeah,
I pull
he
it up?
writes that as a TO, I've seen that team tournaments seem to be a hit. Both OU and the most recent MCDT had a crazy amount of entrants, but these formats are either lackluster, have either lackluster or no support at all from the developers on their respective games. We need some dev love for the format, which I super agree with. I think uh, one of my biggest dreams from Mr. Osk himself is implementing like some kind of variable first two or something like that where it's you don't have to top yourself out like 8
Yeah, it's
times.
just a handicap. It's just like
Yeah,
adding
just
a handicap
just a little handicap for
for the
ease of
folks.
use.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of stuff that would open up
yeah,
because I think OU as a format was unexplored because of these like logistical barriers of you have to kill yourself
yeah,
so and so many times first
yeah.
before you can actually play the game.
You have
And
to kill
nobody wants to
yourself.
organize a tournament where you have to do that
Yeah.
until me.
Until yeah, all
Until
right.
me.
You could take
And
that.
then
That's
and then
yours.
I just kind of like, you know what? I don't care about you. You're gonna top yourself out 7 times. You're gonna like it.
Yes.
Uh, but yeah, I like the moment that these variable first two things get implemented, relay style tournaments are going to. I think they're gonna be a huge hit, and stuff like 3 player, for like even like huge 5 player crew battles with like players from different skill levels. That would be something I would really enjoy watching, like an
Yeah.
invitational or something like that.
And I feel like the handicap would also be used in like other ways, like asymmetric.
Mhm.
I mean, like handicaps are just good. They're just
Yeah.
good in
Being
general.
able being able to set handicaps is just like a quality of life thing that
Yeah.
makes running tournaments uh easier, I guess, like less of a headache to do stuff with variable first twos. I know IFT is a big proponent of using variable first two as a means of giving one player an advantage.
Yeah. And
And I mean, other than that, it's like hard to
yes.
give someone an advantage in Tetris. But yeah.
All right. This I found the segue. I found the segue.
Hmm.
So obviously, like the big thing here is to. I mean, like we can add rules that make doubles easier. Like obviously, you could also just make a teams format in Tetra as well. But like the doubles format in general could use its own rule set or like some more like proposals for like how doubles is actually played. Because we mentioned before in the beginning when how Jstris doubles work. It's
Hmm.
just like two people playing, right?
Yeah.
So I will now explain tennis doubles. This is I feel like the last few episodes just been like me talking about sports, even though like I'm the least sports person now.
I feel like that is not the case. But
uh,
continue. I want to hear more about
okay,
oars. First oars fencing, now oars tennis.
tennis
Next up will be
doubles
oars piano.
is a very interesting game. I believe. I think tennis
Hmm.
doubles is more interesting and more fun than tennis singles because if you look at tennis singles, it's just they're hitting the ball back and forth. There's some tactics. If you get to the net, it's good. But in tennis, okay, in tennis, if you're at the net when your opponent is in a bad situation, that's basically victory. Because at the net, like you can hit the ball instantly after your opponent hits it to you,
Hmm.
right? So you can put it away. There's also just like angles. You have more angles to go off the court when you're farther forward. Like, because you have to like go over it. Angles. Angles are good. Um, but in tennis doubles, if you guys have seen tennis, do you guys know tennis doubles? Like how it
I
looks?
know tennis doubles a little bit. I know
I'm just
I'm
gonna
a
assume
little.
I've been going in like to try and make sure people actually know how things work. I'm just gonna get an image of it. Um, This is tennis doubles. You have one person at the front, one person at the back. So the victory condition for tennis doubles is to have usually is to is to have your net person like get a ball that's going between the rally between the back two players, or to have both players come forward and win, like and like pressure out the opponent like once they get them on the back foot, that kind of thing. So there's like strategy to like immediately off the serve try and come up if you have a really good serve and volley, that kind of thing, and like deciding which shots to come out and approach, like lobbing over the net player to try and like throw them off guard and use the lob to come forward. Like there's a lot of interesting play because like I think the key thing here is asymmetry. The problem with looking at how Jstris doubles is played right now is that every person there's no focus. There's no focus drawn to like there's no one to look at, right? You don't know what to look at. There's all four boards, they're all equally as important, and any one of them is doing whatever, right? Also, spikes kind of just disappear. So my proposal is asymmetric Tetris doubles, right? You have one person, you have like two positions basically.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay, tell him, tell him.
you have a like a vanguard player, and you have a kind of like hiding player or something, or like secondary player, like backup
Mm-hmm.
player. So the Vanguard players will like they're just playing just like singles against each other, and like the when you send damage, like it goes to just the other Vanguard player, maybe like a reduced amount to the other player, to the like the backup player, or just none at all. And the key mechanic or like the key strategy of the game is to swap in the is to you can swap between the Vanguard player and the backup player. So the backup player can
Mm-hmm.
like build a big spike, and then they swap, and then they you can hit the Vanguard player with a ton of damage. And then maybe there's some counterplay where you have the if the Vanguard player is like in trouble and then they send a bunch of damage, you could also switch to have the backup player soak damage, that kind of thing. And like go back and forth. I think it'd be super complicated. If this is anything, this has to be a slow Tetris doubles. I could not see this working at all with fast.
Yeah, I
This would be
mean,
awful with fast. But
it might not be that bad with fast.
yeah,
It sounds like a like something. I like this thought of asymmetry
yeah.
in
There's just nothing to
in
guide your
Tetris.
eyes towards basically
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
Jstris doubles. That's the main problem. You have to look at all four boards if anything important is going to happen. Um,
Yeah. And because like I think because of that, in my own experience playing stuff like MCDT, uh you just kind of end up looking at nothing. You just kind of
yeah,
end
yeah.
up looking or paying attention to like your own board, and you just kind of like let everything else go by the wayside.
Yeah, another key thing is that like the backup player would also not be able to send damage at like while they're playing in the backup position. And another big thing is that like once it gets to 2v1 in Jstris doubles, it is almost impossible to win for the single player,
Hmm.
right? Like as soon as one player dies, it's just over. Um, I think this will nerf that slightly because it's not like you're just taking the brunt of two people's like full APM, right? They have to like also still like switch back and forth to win, that kind of thing. It's still a huge
Yeah.
advantage, but it's not, I don't think, an unsurmountable advantage. Obviously, there's going to be some UX to like how to switch. I think like a good way to do would be like a request system. Like both players have to request to switch for you to switch, right?
Hmm. Like a what's it called? There's like an anime fighter that kind of is like that.
There's a lot of anime fighters. Like there's a lot of fighters that have
It's
like
like a
loadouts with
it's
like
like
a
a
bunch
tag
of
option.
yeah, yeah. Like I think like X-Men is a big one, Skullgirls, like lots
I
of
don't know.
games.
That kind of sounds like a lot of fun. I would probably play
I think
that.
that's my proposal for doubles. I think that would be pretty interesting. That's all I'm saying. But I don't want to. I'm lazy and or I don't have time to develop a video game.
Well,
um,
one
one
day
day, maybe
in
if someone else
fast
wants to
Tetris
make that,
only.
I would be totally down. You can take all the credit. You could just not write my name on it. You know?
And then if it flops,
Don't
well, you
put my
never
name.
had anything to do with
Never had
it.
anything to do with it. But if it does well, I will claim credit, and I will sue you.
That I don't know.
I don't know.
I
I think
think
it could also go really badly, but I think
well,
it
yeah.
would be fun. You also need a lot of communication. So you got to get people on the VC. Got to get people on those mics. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
What laptop doesn't come with a mic anymore? We got to stop this muted Tetris VC. I'm saying that. That's my devil's
Or is
proposal.
his true intentions come out?
But yeah,
Uh, yeah. Do we have any viewer questions? I don't know. I think we've talked a lot about
yeah,
these doubles formats and these doubles problems and what's good about them.
yeah,
I think it's time to move into viewer questions. If any of
yeah.
you watching live in the Twitch chat have anything to say,
Oh yeah,
I would like to bring up what Ichilal
oh
mentioned
yeah,
a
yeah. You
little
said
bit
that. Yeah, you got it.
earlier. He writes, "Can you talk about die and water duds blindfolded tournament? I think it was a really interesting 2v2 format with actual teamwork." And for those of you who don't know, I actually played in this with teaming with Alcazar, another good friend of the podcast. We lost our first game, and it was single elim, so we just fucked off. We went to play friendlies.
Pog.
um, but the tournament format itself is sort of like a hand in brain thing. Is that what it is?
I don't know what
Where
that means. Yes.
one person controls the hands, but they're wearing a blindfold, and the other person on the team has to tell them is just like communicating where to put the pieces,
Yeah. Were you
and
the
that's
hands or
all.
you the brain?
We had to, and you have to swap. You have to swap back and forth.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Um, I will say, uh, shit's hard. It is crazy difficult to do it. We like Alcazar and I uh did some practice, and we kept losing.
Was there anyone that was actually good at it?
There was one team that did mech TSD, which I guess is what we just should have done.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like a fun like novelty. I mean, like people do this kinds of these things.
Yeah, I think it was a cool concept for
One-off tournament.
like a little
Yeah.
gimmick one off, but as like a long-standing tournament series or something for I'm not gonna say like serious tournament because that's a little pretentious.
Like a competitive tournament.
Yeah, like as competition, it is not exactly the
Yeah.
format that that is the schmoove,
Yeah. It
so
does
to speak.
incorporate like the asymmetry stuff though.
Hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey,
Maybe you
step in
could
the right
also have
direction,
like
the right place.
one hand. But the problem is people can play with one hand, you know?
Yeah,
Maybe like one person controls hard drop or like movement and one person play controls rotation. But that'd be hard to do. I mean, I guess you could do like you got, Parsec, like some kind of remote
you
desktop
just have
software.
to be you have to know someone IRL who plays.
Or you could do that too.
Ors can team with uh Jed.
Yeah.
Am I right, folks?
Yeah. Like I don't know. I think Ace like it is it's just asymmetry in general will bring that kind of vibe, I think. Right?
Hmm.
Even if like even in the system that I propose like so Ichiel writes in chat that it's good because like even like a worse player can feel like they're contributing. Like if you have
There
a
is no
very strong, yeah,
conception of a worse player in that format.
yeah,
I will note, uh, does not really matter how good you are as long as you can place the pieces in some facet, you probably are not at any more of a deficit against another team.
yeah. I think in the system that I propose is like if you have like a strong, basically you probably just want your stronger like 1v1 player on the vanguard, and then you just it doesn't really matter, I guess, how slowly you're building the spikes if you know how to time it well and like you have a good request, you have a good swap.
Hmm.
I find a good opportunity. Definitely makes timing a lot more important because like as the backup player, like sending doesn't do anything until you switch in, right? That kind of thing,
Yeah.
or like very
I don't
little
know.
unless you
Maybe
switch in.
sending could like charge back to back, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you should obviously. I think you should charge. Yeah, maybe you could even like build up a huge back-to-back chain and then send a huge spike.
You know, classic
Yeah,
you just LST for like 15 minutes while the one person soaks damage.
yeah. You need to put a cap
And
on
then
that,
you
but like,
kill them.
I mean, they can switch into their backup player and then cancel it,
True.
right? That's kind of the thing. It's like zone, except it's another person.
Yeah, something like that.
People like zone,
Um,
I think, kind of. Not really.
I think people like zone.
Some people like zone. People are okay with zone.
Unsure.
Yep. Either way, that's my thing.
Hmm.
I think it's interesting. I think it's like a way to add strategy that isn't necessarily like adding. It's like I think like all right. I don't want to get too deep into like we. I want the vibe of the second season to be more like less about meta ranting. I created an entire other series to talk about meta ranting, but um yeah, I think Tetris like to quote unquote solve it and like add strategy. It just needs like you need to have like a one button solution. You know,
Yeah. Hmm.
it needs to be simple. You need to have like you can add like
Simplicity
one
is
extra
king.
button. I think zone is like a good example. Add one button and then the game will become much more complex because it's already
Yeah.
very complex. It's just not in every way. Okay, that's me.
That's it. That's it for meta ranting today. No more meta
No more
rants.
meta rants. I guess we'll just quickly go over to chat, see if they have anything they want to say. Um,
We're quickly approaching character system.
yeah, that's what I'm
Uh-oh.
saying. I feel like, at least from the initial draft, I thought character system was too complicated. But we'll see how it ends up turning out. Maybe it'll become more simple. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, who knows? Um, but yeah,
yeah.
I
Anyone
don't know.
have
I
else
think
they want to say? Yeah, but I mean, we're pretty.
that's everything that we
We wanted to say,
had
yeah.
prepared for today. And I think, yeah, I think there's a bright future, definitely possible, and definitely something that I'd like to help cultivate for teams events, for doubles events, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Mario Kart items for extra chaos. Lim is posting his emotes for a character that he likes.
Very funny, very pog. Uh, but I think, yeah, I think that's as good as place as ever.
Stop. I'll give.
Good a place as any to stop.
Yeah.
Call
And
it wraps
we
for
could
this
call it.
week.
You guys got like 2 seconds to to bring forth
You
another
got 2
discussion
seconds.
topic. Yeah, I mean like items and skill battle have been a thing. Um,
I don't know how I feel about that as forms of competition, but
I mean they can work.
maybe.
They're just not balanced well. That's the problem. They or
Hmm.
like they basically are just way like in items and Tetris Friends are kind of just a way to like make up for not knowing how to play Tetris. I don't have a camera scene on this. It's
What do you
also
mean you can't
for squeeze
use
the
the
cheese was
item
a skill scene.
and then the board will morph itself to a T-spin?
Yeah, yeah,
That's crazy.
so crazy.
But yeah. Thank you all for coming out today and watching this live or on YouTube or Spotify.
Yep.
Reminder that we are on Spotify. That's crazy.
Yeah.
We have a couple followers. We
Do
could
we? I
have
didn't
some
know.
more
I
even.
didn't know that. That's crazy.
I thought you were looking at the analytics with some
Oh.
people the other day.
Oh no, I just post. Okay, that's fine. Um, that's cool. All right.
Yeah.
See
Thanks
you
for coming.
everyone. Goodbye.
See you.